Good morning, ladies. Yay, we're back to the portion.
Good
Hope for those
morning.
of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving, we hope that you had a beautiful time of blessing. What a beautiful time. One more time, even though it's not on the God's calendar, we do know that it is a time when you can choose to be grateful and thankful and just spend some time with your family and being thankful for all the good things. So thank you all for being here. We're going to keep you guys short today because we want to most of you have family in. I know we do. We have things that we have going on, but we didn't want to miss seeing your pretty faces today. So we wanted to say hello. Um, just blessed to have all of you here. And also I wanted to say hello to everyone on Facebook, everyone who's going to be watching the replay over the weekend.
Hello,
This is a
everyone.
really great weekend for you to go in and maybe watch
Yeah.
some of the other old some of our portions if you want to go back and check up. But what else
Yeah.
is it a good weekend for, Brenda?
Oh my goodness. This has just been an amazing week. Okay, so we're in Kislev. So have all of you guys been dreaming a lot?
I have. It's
I
crazy.
I
Random.
know. So let's you know what, as a team, let's get together and start journaling out our dreams or recording them. That's what I do because I don't turn the light on at night, so I don't wake up my husband. But I grab my phone and I put it under the blankets, and you should hear my recordings. They're hysterical. It sounds like
Sounds like an episode of Criminal Minds. That's what
it,
it sounds
it
like.
totally
He's
does.
like,
Yeah. So anyway, I saw this thing coming. That's what. But I've been recording on my phone the dreams, and I've been averaging about 3 dreams a night, which is crazy. And they're coming a little bit differently. But this is the time, ladies. So pay attention. You might not remember when you wake up, but ask the Holy One to remind you while you're sleeping. This is the time of dreams. And in our Torah portion, of course, because we follow the cycle, in our Torah portion, we are introduced to do this vision of Jacob and
yes.
seeing the face of Hashem, seeing the face of the Holy One,
Yeah.
seeing the angels. And this is really interesting. He's seeing the angels ascending and descending, not descending and ascending, but he sees them coming, going up and coming down. So I just thought that was really interesting. We could talk about that later.
I
But
know. That's cool.
that
That's
means
cool.
that they were there and then they were going up. And then some other ones were coming down. So pretty cool.
Hmm.
So yeah, let me let Petra in. And so anyway, this is a time of dreams. I'd love for you to just journal them out or just put them on your recorder and just be reminded of them. And then let's talk about that sometimes because it's just really amazing what he's speaking to us in the nighttime.
Yeah, and for those of you who are brand new or maybe new like us in that you haven't ever paid attention to the months or moon cycles, Kislev is the name of the Hebrew month for the Hebrew calendar that we're in right now. So that's when you hear us saying the word Kislev, that means that's the name of the month that we're in. And
That
so
we're in.
so my dreams, we are Vayetze, is that how we say this name? Everyone, I need a hot bit if I said it wrong. Vayetze is our name for this week, and it's he went out. It's interesting because we were talking about dreams, not that this has to do with Vayetze, but I just remembered I noticed that I thought my dreams were not significant this month, like whatever, I'm just doing, but I was having dreams of fishing with my dad when I was a little girl and having to clean the guts out. And I was having these funny dreams, and as I was remember as I sat in them and I prayed like, Father, does this mean anything? And he was just saying like, hello, look what you do. Like, that's what you do. You are a fisher of women. And sometimes you have to clean some ugly guts out. Sometimes, sometimes things might not all be just the fun glory of casting your nets and being like, yay, I got a fish. Sometimes it's right, Misty. Sometimes it's just not that fun. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
Emunah, right? We all live in that Emunah. But it's interesting that we've talked about like Abraham when we did the Lech Lecha, right? The Lech for Abraham was he was sent out. He was like sent out. It was like get out, go. But it's interesting. It's different a little bit with he went out. It was a little
That is
bit different than Abraham. He went out a little differently.
Hey, can I just say for those of
No!
you that are listening on the Apple podcast or on the podcast, whichever format that you are using, our Torah portion this week that we are chit-chatting about right now is Genesis 28:10 through 32:3, and Hosea 12 verses 13 through 14:10. That's what our half Torah is. And you know what? I apologize. I don't have my note of what
I have my handy little
Brit
phone here.
Hadashah.
Let me tell you, I actually repainted offices, so my stuff looks very clean, but it's all secretly hidden in boxes, so I can't find anything. But let me here we go, files. And I can tell you right this second, we are in, what's our date? Vayetze, Genesis, Hosea, and John 1, 41 through 51. And for those of you who don't see it, maybe you can see it on my phone. We do have the reading. Oh, yeah, this is a virtual background because I'm painting. So let me, hold on.
We have the reading schedule on our portion.
Yeah.
Up in the units or on files. I apologize. Just click up on files and you can download the reading portion, which is what I should have done for today.
Yeah, if not, you can send us a message, private message us, or email us info@the Cafe, and we will get that link for you to go over and grab it. Sure. We'd love to have you do that. Yeah, super fun. Yeah, thanks for hopping that in.
Sure. Teamwork
makes the dream work.
It sure does. So very exciting about the dreams that are happening and about what's been going on and about the whole family issues. You know, we just came out, last Torah portion was generations. So you know we're going to be dealing with family stuff. I mean, there's no way around it, right? So that's what happens at this time in this season of the Holy One.
Yeah.
You know, his times and seasons, they're a cycle that go on year after year after year after year.
Right. It's kind of like we know the flowers know they spend some time in the ground. Their seed, that those that come back, they die, they open up, they come back. We never expect, I would never expect my seeds to pop up randomly in the middle of December or in the middle of January. Right. That would not be an expectation I would have. Why are my glasses way crooked? We're funky. But I would always expect like them to pop up in like March or April. If they started showing up, I would be like, oh yeah, it's time for that again. And have you ever had like, I remember living in Central California and the almonds blossom. And they're the first things that blossom, which is another story. They're the first things that blossom through the valley. And it's beautiful, beautiful. These trees are blossoming. And I feel like every single year I said the same thing. Gosh, it seems too early for this. Is it really time for this to happen again? And every year I said the same thing, but it wasn't too early. Right, Tiffany? Remember how beautiful that is all through it's just, there's nothing like it. It's nothing just like absolutely gorgeous. And we all say it. We're all like, are the almonds blossoming too early this year? And no, they're not. It's the same time. But you expect things to happen at a certain time. So that's what gets to happen when you start following the calendar of Hashem. When you start following the calendar of the Holy One, you start, all of a sudden you realize, oh yeah, this is the time I can kind of expect there might be some family things. Oh yeah, I might dream a little more. I'm going to be paying attention. Right. And you kind of get prepared for that, right, Brenda? And I'm kind of as 20 years in this, and I feel like the newbie still. I'm like, I never did this before.
I'm totally the newbie.
Yeah. We did this kind of together starting Friday nights, trying to do a little First Fruits of Zion Torah Club study. How long was it ago? Was that 15 years ago?
Probably.
I feel like that was 15 years ago, Tiffany. Is that really how long? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. So, and from even that little bit, before that I knew, okay, I'm just going to stop eating certain food and, I'm going to stop celebrating certain things. And then all of a sudden now here I am 20 years later in my personal journey. And I'm like, I never knew this. This is cool. So now we just get to prepare for that. And we just want to say, I want to say that to stress. Please. And Brenda, you have given so many people peace in this. You are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're sitting thinking, oh my gosh, this is so beginner, I've done this forever, maybe it is the wrong place. But you should, I want to pray that you have that fresh eyes, that you're like the little kid who is the first time in the candy store, the first time at Disneyland, where you're like, oh, look at that. And I prayed for that, and it is happening, ladies. So I never celebrated these moon things, and I never knew about these moon cycles. And I thought you guys were little flowers around your head, dancing around fires or something. And that was weird, but that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm loving learning new things. And so please, ladies,
Yes.
jump into this. So the next year, you're like, oh, I can expect this. I'm prepped. I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I got my dream journal next to my bed.
Yeah.
I got my phone ready on record when I go to sleep at night so I can
Yep.
jump up and say my thing. Whatever.
And whisper, you can whisper silly
Oh,
things
yeah.
into your phone and then try to decipher it the next morning. That's always fun.
Yeah. Keisha did a really great job over in the cafe when she was our guest speaker for our monthly webinar. And she talked about keeping a journal, she's big on journaling and I hate her. She's big on journaling. And so I hate journaling. Ishka, quit laughing at me. I hate journaling. And so, it is a lot. I mean, I feel like my brain thinks too fast. I can type faster than I can write. So writing is like,
Mm-hmm.
so you guys,
Nicole's going, yep.
Yep. So you guys will be proud of me. I bought a little white, cheap little thing, at the thing, and I am journaling. So the next year when you come back around at this time, you're like, oh, I remember what was happening at this time. I remember how things go. Oh, I remember these dreams I had. Oh, I remember, oh, look at this was answered. And it doesn't have to be so lengthy unless that's you. Now I do journal, but I pray journal. Like I have a really pretty leather one by my bed that has a tree on the front of it. And I actually journal my prayers because I have like prayer ADD. I feel like this is going to be a portion ADD today. I have prayer ADD. So when I start praying, I'm like, oh, Father, thank you for this. Oh, I have to do the laundry. And then, oh yeah, there's that thing. Oh, I'm at the grocery store. Don't forget to, oh yeah, sorry. And then God, please bless Inagul because I know that she's struggling with this. Would you, oh yeah. And oh, Inagul. Yeah, that reminds me of stool. I was going to buy a step stool for the house. Yeah, I remember I have to do that. That's me. Welcome to my brain. So I have to write out my prayer. So you're welcome if that's you also, but that's how I get through my prayers. Thank you, Ishka, for making me feel laughing at me again. She knows I have to have systems or my brain is all over the place. So not just squirrel. I'm like squirrel, rabbit, tiger, wah. Like today.
Petra said the struggle, it's a real thing. The struggle is Israel.
Yes, it is Israel.
Thank you, Petra, for that little thing. That I appreciate that much so much. Yeah, I just want to bless you guys today. We have such a beautiful parsha today, and we want to release you early today because we want you to be able to enjoy your families, be able to get prepped for Shabbat. And all of that. But Charlie, can we just dig into a couple little things?
Can we talk about, I just want to say again about this whole thing about the Lech, L-E-C-H, Lech, when Abraham Lech, it was a response to his faith. Okay, so when Abraham was called up, it was a response to his faith. But when Jacob, his Yetzai, it's Yetzei, it was actually an intent about intention and purpose. So I know it sounds silly, but this is a time when he's saying there can be times sometimes you're asked to get up and go and you have no clue no clue. You're going to go to a place you don't know, to a people you don't know, about a thing you don't know, because you just don't know. And some of you might be there, but I feel like during this season right now, he may be calling you to a purpose. He may be saying, yes, Siska, yes, he's calling you to a purpose. And this is a time when it's a Yetzai. He's calling you to your intention and your purpose. Might be scary. Doesn't mean it's not any more security than the Lech, that part. They're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, where I'm going. I've been there. But this is a season when he's saying, okay, I want you to go and I want you to find, in this case, he needed to leave. He had a purpose to go find a bride. Also, he needed to so he didn't get killed by his brother. It's a little thing, some family drama. He had to run away from some family drama.
Little family drama there.
It's a little thing when your brother wants to kill you. I don't know. My sister wants to feed me pork, but whatever. She tries to give me pork chops. Like I eat that for 20 years. But anyways, so we have this really fun thing of, I'm so sorry. I just had a flash of, our Thanksgiving dinner, someone busted out shrimp cocktail. That's all I'm going to say. And my granddaughters were like looking at it like ugly. I'm like, yes, honey, those are sea bugs. You know, the cockroaches that run around on the ground, that's what those are, but they're in the ocean. Don't ever eat those, okay? They're yucky. They taste like fingers. You don't eat fingers, so you don't eat that. It's ugh. So anyway, yeah, so if you're calling to, I feel like God's calling a lot of you to your intention and your purpose. He's literally like fanning flames, things that you thought were dead. Have you been hearing this for the last 3 months from us? Things that you thought were dead. He's saying, get up, or something's going to kill you. Get up and go find the thing. It might be, maybe it's a partner. You need someone to partner with you in this. Maybe it's just you need to move into a different location because you've been in the wrong room, in the wrong congregation. Yes, I'm going to say that. You've been in the wrong places. You need to get up and find a different location, maybe. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's something that you need to move because you're not going to grow where you're at. You've learned all you can learn. You know, he had learned, he'd been in the tents, learning from Shem, learning from them. Now it was time for him to get up and walk that out, right? Walk that out, what he'd all been learning. Some of you have been learning a lot and not doing much.
Can we talk about that real quick? We've breezed over it the last couple of weeks, and we've said little comments like, oh yeah, they were in the tent of Shem. He was in the tent of Shem and Eber, and he was studying. But can I just, I got some insight today when I was reading some commentary by the sages, and I got some insight this week. And the insight that I got was that Shem, of course, Shem was the son of Noah. So talk about having dealt with drama, okay? So he was alive before the flood, in the flood, after the flood. This is where Jacob was, studying with this man who had seen the drama and who was a Zadik, a righteous one. And Eber had been in the midst of living there where the Tower of Babel, with all of that crazy. So what Jacob was going to be going into to be living with Laban for what, 20 something years, right? That was where he was going to end up going. And he had been studying with his father Isaac. He'd been studying the Torah of the Lord, which is amazing because it wasn't written, but it was spoken. So he had been studying that already. So he knew that, but what he didn't have was that perspective from Shem of how to deal with all the drama. How do you deal with the heartache and the disappointment, with the tragedy? How do you deal with all of those things? How do you continue being a righteous person when the whole world literally is blowing up? How do you do that? So right this minute, I'm just feeling like, guys, we need to grasp this, because that wisdom has been passed on to us by the Holy Spirit, and we can receive that type of counsel from the Holy One.
Yes.
How do we deal with the crazy? Shem dealt with the crazy. Can you imagine? I mean, really think about it. And then then he lived through and he saw the whole city that they were building and the Tower of Babel, and then all of that, and the people being dispersed and the languages changing and all that. He lived through that. Eber was right there in the middle of that. And so the wisdom that they were able to impart to Jacob on how to live it out, not just know it, but live out how to be a Zadik. And when we fast forward into this story of how Jacob is living with Laban, and every turn, he's getting undercut. He's getting, the intention is to harm him, to rob him, to steal from. It's the same thing, but it's coming from his family. And he had been in those tents. He had been receiving that. And so he was able to deal with it, and he dealt with it really well. I mean, I reread this Torah portion again this morning just to make sure. I'm like, I wouldn't have handled it that way. I wouldn't have. And yet he had wisdom from the Spirit of God. imparted
I
to
had the
him.
opportunity to handle something like this, not the same, but similar. Of course it was just this week.
Of
And
course you
I
did.
mean, like literally walk into something and walk into a situation with a person who had really hurt, who had done, they just had done some things that weren't really ethical to me. And I felt like they broke some serious girl codes to me. And girls, we have girl
Yeah.
codes, and
Yes,
they
we
broke
do.
some girl codes. And I'll just
Okay.
say, yeah, you just don't date someone's ex-husband. I'll just say that. And then, and I had an opportunity to be with them and in their presence and actually have to share meals with that person. And I had the opportunity to walk into that and actually bless that person, be in their presence. And it was like that person didn't act very well. However, when I left, I had the best time. I didn't let that drag me down. I like allowed the Holy One to just like give me this shalom that was amazing and not operate in my flesh, because you
You
want to
kept
snatch
your
someone's ball
peace.
head.
You kept your peace.
Yes.
That's what you
Yes.
did.
I almost went Shanae. I was ready
Oh,
because I have a Shanae in me that my head starts to bob, and I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Okay. Or Maleficent, whatever you want to call her, but she's there. But and you know what happened? I got text messages from
mm,
family members saying, wow, you were such a blessing. Thank you for making this thing such a blessing. And you came in and it was like you made everything okay. That's not me, everyone. I'm going to tell you right now, has not been that way in the past. So that was, wow, that was like a Jacob's ladder moment for me, because I was
seriously.
like,
Isn't that
angels were
great?
descending and ascending. And it
Uh-huh.
really wasn't
Yeah.
work, because
Yeah.
I didn't make it about, if it was about me, it would have been work, right? But it
Yeah.
was really nice to then have those messages coming back saying, you were so kind. Like that was the word. Someone called me kind, which was what? Like,
Wow.
you were so kind. That was, why are you saying wow?
No, I'm
I'm
saying
just
that's
kidding.
wonderful. Ah, jeez.
Why are you saying that? I'm kind.
Why? Because
No,
I've
but for
known you
me,
forever?
in
I
this
don't
moment,
know. Maybe.
if y'all knew, I'm just telling you, if you all knew, you would have all been at the door with me going, backing me, being the girls. But it was like, wow, it was fun. I mean, it was actually made it fun. I had a really great time with my family, but it was just seeing how you can just choose this whole,
Yeah.
different, right? So
Yeah.
what happens with the collision? Do we want to talk about that?
With the
Talk about the
collision.
collision of Jacob. The word is, can I try it?
Yep.
Vaifka bamakom. Is that right?
Ba Makom. Yes. Very good.
Bamakom. Vaifka
Yes.
bamakom. You're going to read this when you read about Jacob. He hits the place,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean, it just says, oh, he
It
shows
just
up.
says, yeah, it's in the English, it just says, yeah, he went to the place, or he encountered the place, or yeah. Oh no, we're talking like a train wreck. I mean, we're
Collision.
talking, yeah.
He collided with. That's
Yeah.
what that word is. He
Yeah.
collided with the place.
Yeah, the
And
place.
you know what, sisters? You are going to be colliding with some places. You may have, I would love to hear your testimonies, Facebook here. Yes, Ishka,
Yes.
I want to hear your messages, because you
Yes.
you're going to be colliding.
Yep.
And I don't want you to be shocked. Next year, you're going to be like, oh, expect the collision. Let me put my pads on. I'm armor pads, because this is collision week. I forget. This, sisters, is collision week.
And then the dreams come, collide,
Yes.
and then the revelation. Okay, so let's go.
So start thanking him for the collision, because sometimes what was I watching? But sometimes you're on this like train, and you think your train is set. You're supposed to go to, any of you live in bigger cities, or if you've been on a train before and you set the train, it's probably like that in London, right? Ishka, is you get on the train and okay, well, I paid to get to station X, but so I'm A, B, C, I'm taking a little nap, I'm cruising, because I know I got a long way to go before I get to X. So you're like chilling, reading your book, whatever. And bam, all of a sudden you're at like K, station K. Stop, get out. But I stayed through X. Excuse me, I paid through, my ticket says X, not K. And he's saying, get out. I need you to get out, because I need to do some things with you right here. And you're like, no. Let me show you my ticket again. It says X. I haven't finished my book. I have some things you told me to know. So if that's happening, there's a collision happening, and he wants to give you some revelation at Station K. And that's what happened here at this station. And not only that, but Station K might end up being, you may end up being this so super important place, just like this happens with Jacob, right? For those of you who are new, right? This place is a very important place. Brenda, why is it so important?
Oh my goodness. Well, we all know that where he is, it says, it's so amazing. It says, so he spent the night there because the sun set, and he took a stone from the place, Ha Makom, which he arranged around his head, and he lay down in that place. What stone did he take? Where is this place? This is the place where his father Isaac and his grandfather Abraham had gone up to Olah. In English, it says that Isaac was going to be a burnt offering, but in Hebrew, it doesn't say that. In Hebrew, it says Olah. It says that Abraham was to lift up his son, to ascend, that they were to ascend. And that's what they did. And this is that place. And the stones that were there were the stones that were the memorial of that place, where his dad saw the Lamb of God. This is the place. And the stone that he put under his head was one of the stones that was there at that place with his father and his grandfather. So there is a place which ended up being in the temple, the Holy of Holies, that place. So this is a place where God had said, this is where I'm meeting you. And here Jacob, he didn't even know, like Charlie said, I think that he was thinking, well, I'm going to go here. Oh man, the sun's going down. I better stop. It wasn't an intentional thing. And yet it was intentional by the Holy One.
Well, there are some people who say when he collided, supernaturally the sun set early that day.
So well, there you go.
Read that before, but I read that this week. I'm not saying it's truth.
Yeah. I've never heard that, but that sounds.
He collided, and then it was like, you're going to stop and sleep now. So, buddy, grab a stone. We got some stuff to do. It wasn't like I have to sleep now. It was like, you're colliding. You're stopping here. It's Station K. Get out. Yeah. Get out. There's a bomb. There's a bomb on the train. Get out. Like, that's what happened.
And this is where he falls asleep, and all of a sudden he sees the angels ascending. So they're leaving this place. He sees the angel. The veil's been opened, and he's seeing what's going on in this place. And what's going on in this place is that the angels that are guarding and surrounding him, because he's in the land. Remember, he's in the land. Those angels are going up, and different angels are coming down because he's leaving the land. So the angels that are going to go with him are going to come down and go with him as he leaves the land. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I thought that was
interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's super interesting. And I love in 28:16, he says, surely the Lord is in this place, and I didn't know it. Like, really?
Yeah.
Surely awesome the Lord is in this place.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it. Yeah. He falls asleep, and he's like, oh, oops. Look what happened. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you been in a detour? Have you had a Station K experience? And we're going to have our own idiom page for the portion, right? Have we had a Station K experience, and you thought it was this huge inconvenience, and then all of a sudden you're like, when you calm down, when you lay your head down to rest, when you get your wings down and you get done being mad about how you had to get off at Station K, all of a sudden you're like, wow, the Lord is in this place, and I didn't even know it. Linda tells us God is in the mess, right? He's in the mess. He's in Station K. He's there. Surely he's there, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yep. I just love that. One of the interpretations of that word encounter too is one of the minor interpretations, but some of the sages agree with that the minor interpretation is when it says that Jacob encountered, it was actually talking about he was praying. The word encounter was prayer, and that's when he got collided. Isn't that an interesting thought?
Very interesting. And I just want to read. I just want you guys,
Forceful
because I want us
collision.
to. Sometimes I think we should do this more often. Is I'm going to go to the end of the book, Revelations 21, 2-5. He says, well, I'll start 1. Then I saw a new heaven, new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and then the sea was no more. He says, I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. I wonder where it came down from. Maybe there's a rock there now. Prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. I also heard a loud voice from the throne saying, behold, the dwelling of God is among men, and he shall tabernacle among them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be among them and be their God. I mean, yeah, he shall wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more, nor shall there be mourning or crying or pain, for the former things have passed away. I think it's going to come down right on that same spot, right? It's going to come down on that space. And it's there now. We just can't see it. Because it said it's among men. Anybody else? Ishka, nod your head. Do you believe that? That it's there, we just can't see it?
Oh, it's happening.
It's happening. Things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things are happening.
Yeah.
So if you go to Jerusalem now and you go to the wall, you're in a very close proximity to where Jacob was. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in very close proximity. Yeah.
Close proximity. Yeah.
Proximity.
Hey, before we move along, can I just say something? Sorry, I know that we're a little bit we're all over the place here, but in verse 12 and verse 13
what chapter?
of the first chapter, 29.
Okay.
Where am I? Here I am. Yeah, 29. I'm sorry, 28. He said in verse, here it is. Verse 20. No, I'm sorry. For 29:13. Let me see if I've got this right. Oh, I should have had this. Nope, that's it. That's not it. Anyway, he says, behold. Where is that? He says it right. He says right here in 29 verse 1, he says, behold. And whenever we see that word, behold, it's reminding us that something really impactful is occurring, and we need to make note of it. We might not get it all in that moment, but whenever it says the word behold, it's telling us something. Remember who else got a word behold? Mary. Remember when the angel visited her? Elizabeth. I mean, this is significant. And he says, I don't know why I got my page mixed up here. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was chapter 28, verse 13. Behold. And in verse 12, it says, behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending. And verse 13, and behold, Hashem was standing over him. So Hashem is standing there at the top of this ladder, and he's looking down, and he says this promise. He says this promise to Jacob. He says, I am. He tells him who he is. I am. I'm going to give this land to you and your descendants. Your seed is going to be spread out through all the world. It's going to be dust and spread. All the families of the earth are going to be blessed. All the families of their, so you realize that this behold that happened and this thing is affecting us right this minute, right here, right now, this week in our families. We're being affected by this promise. And this promise is that all the families of the earth are going to be blessed. And then it says, behold, he says it again, I am with you. I'm going to send you. I'm going to return you. Doesn't it sound like the promises that he said to the children when they were in Egypt? This is it. This is it right here. I'm going to return you, and I'm going to accomplish it. That's what the Holy One said at the top of the ladder when he's looking down and Jacob's looking up, seeing what's happening. So that word behold, whenever you see that, just remember that something really important and significant is occurring.
Yes.
For the generation.
This is red letter. This is red letter too. You know, many of you might have you go into your New Testaments and it'll be red letter. You guys all know what that means. If you don't, it just means anything anything said by Yeshua is in red letters. If you have a red letter edition, that's what that means. Some of you may not know that. That's what that means, a red letter edition. This is red letter. This is God speak.
This is him talking.
Yeah, when he starts, and mine's, it's interesting because mine says all of a sudden. It doesn't use the word behold. My translation is a Tree of Life version. It says all of a sudden, and surprisingly, all of a sudden. I mean, I love it, and it's all God speak, and I love. He says, "I'm going to bring you back. I'm bringing you back to the land," and I highlighted that too, Brenda. I highlighted it because like he's bringing you back. Sister, he is bringing you back. I want that to rattle your bones. Yeah. He's bringing you back.
That's right.
The land might mean it's your purpose. That's what that represented. It might be the purpose. It might be the calling. This is the time he's bringing you back. Don't be shocked.
Yeah.
With Station K collisions. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's bringing you back to the land itself too. You know, your heart's always going to be, along with that, your heart is always going to be for Yerushalayim, because that is the place where his name is written. And that all of us should have that throb inside of our hearts, yearning to return to the land, or to get to that land. All of us should have that in our hearts. But it is. And there's things that are going to be occurring in these next few weeks, you know, in these Torah portions coming up. It's really exciting. I want everybody to this is, a lot of people forecast these weeks, you know, the darkness of them and the hardship of them. And, you know, they forecast it. And I understand that there's hard things that are happening right now, especially with family. But if we will keep our eyes focused on him, we will understand that through the hardships, through the difficulties, through the relational conflict, through all of that, he's redeeming his people. This is how it gets done. It's the conflict that's going to bring about change. I hate to say that to you, but it's not a negative thing in the big picture, because he said that he would work it all to good. And even in the midst of the hardship of it, we have to keep our eyes on him. He's doing something amazing. He's all about redemption and redeeming the bloodlines. And this is how it's done. This is what it looks like. Yes. And we get to participate in that. And that means, Charlie, I'm so proud of you. It means keeping your peace when really you want to snatch someone by the back of the head and pull their hair out.
Snatch them ball-headed. That's what we say in the South. Snatch them ball-headed. Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's an idiom for you. Southern idiom. Snatch someone ball-headed means you grab them, you yank them. But I didn't do that.
No, you didn't. You didn't. No, you didn't. And
I didn't even want to. There's the test. Yeah. I didn't want to.
And I think that Jacob spending 14 years, the tradition is that he spent 14 years in the tents of Shem and Eber, 14 years to prepare him for exactly what was happening.
Correct. Not being sissy la mama's boy. He was learning in the tents.
And God didn't prevent it from happening. Mm-mm. So if you're looking at your situation and you're saying, God, why didn't you prevent this from happening? There's a bigger picture going on.
Yeah. I think something else that's a bigger picture in this, Brenda, that I just wrote down big across my thing. There's a lot of protocols here. There's a lot of things we have expected. And you talk about systems and efficiency, we're besties. It's my love language when we talk about systems, how to do things more efficiently. What's the protocol? When you say protocol, girl, I love those things. That's what's happening here. We had the station. Remember, I'm supposed to go here, but then he has a collision. He has to stop at station K. And then the next thing that happens that kind of shakes him up from what he thinks he's supposed to do, because I believe spending that much time in a tent, you could get into a habit of thinking, well, this is how I'm supposed to do it. This is what they told me. This is what Shem said. So this is how I walk this out. Well, this is how I'm supposed to do it. And sometimes that can become religion to us. We can get so caught up in a religion. Misty, she did a really great, for those of you, she did a Tuesday talk with us over in the cafe. If you guys take care of, you go jump in on this free weekend, go listen to Misty's Tuesday talk. You'll hear her say this. She talks about if you are too much religion, too much of the word, you draw dry up. You need the if you have too much Holy Spirit and all that, you're going to blow up. But with both, you actually grow up. And I believe this was a growing up time for him because he had so much knowledge and had been spent so much time learning in the tents with them. Yeah. Now he was having to do practical applications.
Absolutely.
And he's finding a collision now. All of a sudden he can't just stay on the road and do what he's supposed to do. But the other thing that happens then is he gets to a well and you see all these people, they can't even lift up a thing because it's a protocol. We only do it this way. We have to wait till all the sheep come in, and we have to wait till everyone shows up. And then we have to wait and he was like, give me the thing. Let me take the stone off. Okay, let's go.
That was totally supernatural. You realize that. Yeah. That's why all the shepherds had to be there at the same time, because it took all of them to keep them all honest. The stone was so heavy that it took all of them to move it. And he supernaturally was able to move that.
Yep.
That was.
Yep. He's like, they weren't He's like, no. We got this. Me, him, we got this. Let me lift this thing. Yeah. There was a protocol though. They were all waiting for, this is how we always do it. This is how we always do it. I was thinking of the pool of Bethesda. They always did it a certain way. This is how we always do it. They always waited for the water to move. And then when the water moved, then we can go in. But if the water's not moving, we better not do it. Ladies, I'm asking you this week, would you lay down your wings? Would you lay down your thoughts, your plans? You'll hear I always say my protocol is stop, submit, and ask. And then listen. Sometimes you have to say stop a few times before you can move on to submit, and then you have to go back to stop again. But when you're in the middle of spinning on something, or when you think this is how it's supposed to be, I want you to stop. Father, I submit to you my plans. I forget all the things I think I know that I spent all my years in the tent learning. I submit all that to you. I submit all these things to you, Father. What do you want me to do? And he might be telling you to move the stone, that he's going to have you do the impossible. He's going to have you lift things and do things that there is no way you can do on your own. There is no way that you can pay that. There is no way that you can build that. There is no way you can move that. But he says, I'm going to make your arms strong for the task.
Isaiah, that is it exactly. Isaiah 40, verse 31. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. That's not normal. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. That's what was happening here. Charlie, I love that. You are speaking prophetically. That is what's coming on.
I'm a prophetess.
Get ready for it. You're a little.
I'm going to put that on my Bible. Prophetess Charlie.
Yeah. Hey, what else happened what else happened at Wells? What other encounters do we know of that happened at Wells? Rebecca, the Jacob's mother, Eleazar met her at the well. Okay. And then here Jacob meets Rebecca here at the well. Who else? Later on, Moses meets his wife Zipporah at the well. Interesting, right? Who else? The Samaritan woman. Yeshua met her at the well. This is significant.
Yes.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Sorry. My mind just went
verse. Melissa, the verse that you put is one of the verses that we've founded the Rooted Cafe on, is that the verse, blessed is the man who trusts in Yahweh and whose trust is Yahweh, for he shall be like a tree planted by waters, which spreads out its roots by the river and does not see when heat comes, and his leaf shall be green, and the year of the drought he is not anxious, nor does he cease from yielding fruit. That's Jeremiah 17, 7-8.
It's also Psalm 1.
Psalms 1. It's also Psalms 1. Because Jeremiah was sort of quoting that, just saying.
Yeah.
But it is amazing. I mean, we need to be rooted if we have good roots. And we know that Jacob had good roots. He spent years in the tent learning.
Yes, he did.
So he had really good roots.
Yeah.
So he was able to get through Station K, and then he was able to move on, and he was able to move into the well. So then we have Rachel, who's at the well. Now he comes to the well not like his father had gotten to Eleazar was sent with loaded down with gold and stuff. Jacob didn't come that way.
Oh, yes. Interesting story about that. You want to hear a backstory to that? Or were you going to share that? Were you going
No,
to share
yes,
that?
please.
Oh,
I need
okay.
to share the backstory.
Well, there's a little backstory to that. The sages say that what happened was when Jacob left, because Isaac loaded him up with stuff when he left. So he had gold and he had everything. He had everything that he needed. Okay, take this, go get a wife. He knew his dad wasn't going to send him to go get a wife with no money, because that wasn't protocol. So he knew he had the wealth. So the backstory is that that Esau sent his son to go kill Jacob. And so when his nephew encountered Jacob, this is the tradition. This is tradition. This is not in the scripture. This is the tradition of it. That when the nephew met Jacob, they had a discussion because the nephew loved him. The nephew loved Jacob. And so he said, look, my dad sent me to kill you. I have to kill you, or else, my dad will kill me. I mean, it was pretty much like that. And Jacob said, well, this is something that we could do. If you take all of my wealth, then I will be as a dead man. Because for me to go to find a wife with no money, I'm a dead man. I can't do it. I can't go get a wife if I don't have any money, if I don't have any wealth, if I don't have anything to offer the family. I can't get a wife. So it would be like killing me. And so it was like a workaround. You know what I'm saying? So supposedly the nephew takes all of the wealth and goes back and tells Esau that Jacob's dead. And here's all of his wealth. So Esau has all of that wealth. Doesn't that make it interesting to think about when Jacob and Esau saw each other and Esau wept? Because if this is true, Esau thought he was dead. Anyway, so Jacob goes to Laban and he has nothing to offer. And it's really interesting because in the scripture, Jacob's telling Laban everything that's going on, right? And he's telling him all the stuff that's happening. And Laban says, well, nevertheless, you're my flesh and blood, so you can stay with me. Well, Jacob was coming to Laban with zero. That is not how it's done.
No, and I'm sure Laban's like, have we met?
Yeah.
Like, haven't you heard about me? You shouldn't show up with no money.
Yeah. And how can he have a wife? How can he buy a wife if he doesn't have any money? He has to have money to do that. That's the protocol. So what Jacob does is, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you all of these years and I'm going to serve. I will serve you so well. And that is when Laban started becoming wealthy, was when Jacob served him. He brought the blessing, just like Isaac. Remember when Isaac went out and started planting fields in the famine, and it was just bountiful, 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 because the blessing was upon him. And that is exactly what happened with Jacob. Jacob brought the blessing with him. And of course, we know what happened. There was a deception and there's a lot of stuff going on about that. So anyway, Charlie, you were saying that Jacob didn't have anything. He was at zero when he approached Laban.
Yeah, all he had to do was to work. And so I don't even know if he had a plan, but it was that he came and here he was supposed to go, and how, he's supposed to be the man who he was just told at Station K. He was told that he was going to spread, his seed was going to go to all corners of the earth. And yet he doesn't have a wife and he doesn't have money to buy a wife. So he's like,
right.
We've never grasped the impossibility of all of this. We don't understand zero. Buying a wife, but you had to buy a wife. You had to pay for these things. We want a ring. We want a really big ring. We want a whatever. We want,
a good wife, a righteous wife. It was going to cost him
a lot of money. Here he has some woman who she's a shepherdess. Girlfriend can work. She knows how to do some stuff. And
she's got skills, mad skills.
She's got skills, and she has, she knows how to take care of things. She's not too hard on the eyes. So she's gorgeous. Yes. And then we see that he says, oh, he kissed her. I remember when I was a little girl reading this, I was like, oh, he kissed her, and like they were married, but it was, you guys, they kissed, mwah, mwah, like that's how they greeted each other. So it wasn't like weird that he kissed her.
It was family.
She was family, and she was special and worth a lot of money. And he's got nothing. And again, we're back to, he's called you to something. He's telling you it's time to get things going. If you haven't listened to Tiffany's story, her amazing story, which I feel like you need to blog this out, Tiff,
Yeah.
about
Please.
the home that she's living in right now. There's
Yeah.
no reason she should be living in this home. There is
Mhm.
no reason. You can't even see out her back window because it's so bright. But if you're looking out her back window, it is, and if you're listening on a podcast, she's overlooking this amazing river. It's beautiful land. She's got this huge home that she dreamt about, like, haha, sure, I'll have that someday. How are we going to pay for that? And yeah, she has it now. And there's no reason. And it was because of a dream. She even drew a picture for her dream. And now she has the home that she dreamed about.
Yes.
Looks exactly like the picture that she drew out. So I'm telling you, he may be sending you to do the impossible. He's shaking you up and saying, hey, you think you're paid through station X, but I'm stopping you at station K because I gotta shake you up. I've got to give you, I've got to reaffirm who you are, because you've got all this head knowledge, but I need you to get it in your spirit. I need to remind you the call on your life. I need to remind you what you've been called to do, your purpose, who you are.
And who he is. That's what he told Jacob just a moments before. He told him who he was. He reminded him, this is who I am. This is who you are. I love that, Charlie. Thank you.
That's the only reason he could have even thought to walk into Laban's camp. He couldn't have gotten there. You know, and again, we don't know about the story. We don't know about the folklore and the tradition. If that's really what happened with the nephew, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't make sense. But, you know, it doesn't matter. Unless you happen to have grown up and you're like not one of the lost tribes that's passed death down, please send us a letter and let us know. Yes, that's truth. That's what really happened. Because my 5 times great grandfather told us. But I want you to know this. I believe this week, I believe at this time, at this season, before we go into the Festival of Lights, when we get to see and get reignited and we get to see the lights, I think in the darkness right now is when he's saying, this is who you are.
Yeah.
This is who I am. Whatever anyone has spoken over you and told you who you are, that you were not receive the blessings, that this, you know, you may have thought you got something the wrong way, because Jacob would have been told, maybe he was told that he was, you know, we all grew up hearing that he was a schemer and that's not who he was. That he got his blessing because he was a conniver. What have you listened to that people have told you who you are? What have you listened to that you've said, well, you might have that, but that's only because you did it the wrong way, or you did this, or you did, maybe you've told that to yourself, that wasn't really God. But because he stopped him right there, he stopped them at Moriah, he stopped them right there at the rock, and he says, I need to proclaim over you who you are, so it doesn't matter how you think you got it. How you think you got this blessing does not matter. This is who you are. This is who I am. Nothing matters. And here we go.
So are you anticipating, ladies, are you anticipating right now that there are miracles that are coming? Because this is the time, in the darkest hours, in the hardest situations, in the most conflicted familial conflict or chaos, I should say. The miracles are there, they're brewing right there, because the Holy One is saying, I am God and I will bless every family. Wait for it. Wait, stay with me. Eyes up here. Let's go. Come on. Look up here.
Oh my God. My little 4-year-old Eliza, she was playing with us, and she was telling Randy and I to sit on the couch, and we had to stay there and not move. And she goes,
she put her fingers on her eyes. For those of you listening by podcast.
Yes, she did the little eyes on her face and pointed like, I'm looking at you. I got my eyes on you. What he's doing, he's got you.
Yes, he does.
What does it look like? Crazy. I mean, we could talk about the planet the way it is right now with COVID. I know many of you that I know that I can see your faces. I know that I may personally know what you're going through. But I'm telling you, it just doesn't, all of that stuff. It's all a fracturing that he's saying. Stop at station K and let me stop at station K. I need to have you see my angels ascending and descending. I need you to hear my voice. I need you to ahad with me. Wait. Wait on me. I need you to bind yourself together with me.
Yes. 100%. Pay
Sorry, I
attention.
said that wrong.
No, you're good. Echad is one. That's good too. That,
I needed
that
you
was
to
right in there.
get bound together with me so
Mhm.
that when you get to that place and you're going to see all of a sudden you're going to be able to walk and you're going to be able to move the stones from over the well.
Mm.
You're going to see the well
Amazing.
and everyone's going to be standing around not knowing what to do and are waiting because they're not strong enough by themselves. You're going to be able to lift things that you shouldn't be able to lift. You're going to be able to walk into family situations and bring shalom where it is hot mess crazy.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to look crazy, walk around, and the world is telling you that you should go in and put them in their place and tell them what's what. But you're going to be able to walk into those places.
Yeah.
Lifting heavy things doesn't necessarily mean that you go in and act a fool. Lifting heavy things sometimes means that you holding yourself back and lifting the weight, right? The
Right.
heaviness,
The
the weight
burden.
of
Sure.
the weight. You get to lift the weight off of the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And you get to be the one who says, this isn't who you are.
Right. That's right. And that's what we get to anticipate right now. So Charlie, thank you. That is exactly it. Again, that's prophetically, that is exactly what he's speaking in his Torah, in his seasons, in these times coming up. We've got the Festival of Lights. I know that it's not a required festival. It's okay. It's a festival that as people we get to rejoice and take time to be reminded of his miracles. That's what it is. It's a time of refreshing for us, a time of remembrance for us, to
Yes.
remember miracles. What has he been doing? Look what he's done for us. Look what he's done for us. And we get to rejoice in that. And I love that what you said, Charlie, about it not necessarily being that you have to, do some strength move, or, slam in and clean the temple out. It might be that you stand strong and you don't allow any of those words as arrows to penetrate you, and you begin speaking life in the midst of the arrows coming at you. You speak life. It could be that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sometimes that's sometimes the heavy stone,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very exciting. You guys, we
Yeah.
are going to close with that. He's shaking things up.
He is. He's shaking it all up.
He's shaking things up. He's taking you to a place that he wants you to stop at the place, stop at the station K. You have to rewind now if you didn't hear that. Stop at you think you're going to one place, but that's not where he's headed. He needs you to stop before you get there to remind you of who he is and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because and whose
You are. Yes. Thank
if
you.
you just knew whose you are, that orphan mentality would run away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's another day we can talk about, it would be gone. If you knew whose you are, if you knew that you were the daughter of the Most High King and you really knew it, you need spending some time and resting. He didn't talk
Mm-hmm.
to him while he was walking. He
Mm-hmm.
had him lie down. And that's the reason why this is a season where you will start noticing your dreams.
Right.
And he will start speaking over whose you are. It might be my
Mm-hmm.
dreams where I'm catching fish and cleaning them with my dad. And that's the way
Mm-hmm.
he's telling me in a way that I understand that who I am and what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's going to tell you. I want to hear it though. You guys, if you're watching here, wherever you are, please let us know. We really, really want to know. A lot of you listen in the background and you don't say anything. Would you just put a little heart emoji or something in the comments so that we just know you're there? When the rest of this we talk about, you hear the fight between Leah and Rachel, which
Mm-hmm.
it's next year. We'll do that next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But one of the things he says is he remembered her.
Oh yes.
He
Brought her
remembered.
to the forefront of his memory with intention to bring about something life-changing.
Say that again. What did he? And what are we talking about when he remembered?
Zakar, the word is
Who did he
Zakar.
remember?
And when the Holy One remembered Rachel, is this what you're talking about? When he remembered her?
Yeah.
When he remembered her, it means in Hebrew, it means that it doesn't mean that he forgot her. It means that his attention and focus is at the forefront of his mind. His attention and focus is being directed specifically to this thing right now. And it's bringing about something that is going to be life-changing. And that's what he did. He remembered her.
Not forgot her. He didn't like forget her.
No,
He didn't forget who she was. Like, oh yeah, there's Rachel. Forgot about her.
No. He's focusing it means he's focusing his attention upon something specific. And that was that he wanted her to be the mother of Joseph. And that was what he brought about in that moment. And she was doing all kinds of crazy. And as we do, that's the real world.
Ishmael stuff, right? Throwing handmaids, going, we get desperate. We do all the things.
Yeah. Competing with her sister. It's like life drama, family drama. It's happening. But God had a plan, and his focus and attention was upon this particular thing. And whenever we see that word remember, that is what you want to remember. That it is a focus and attention. It's not that it's been forgotten, that he forgot her and he went, oh, that's right. Oh yeah, we could probably give her a couple kids too. No, it was specific focus and attention upon this particular thing.
Oops, I wrote to the wrong person.
Bringing forth the tribes.
Yes.
And it wasn't just Joseph. Remember, it wasn't just Joseph. It was Joseph and Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's children. They became the tribes too. Mm-hmm. It was very, very significant. It was
very significant. And you have, if you have homework at all that you guys want to work on over the weekend,
yes,
look up everything. Do a word search on remember. The word remember. Mm-hmm. He remembered her, because a lot of you are thinking he's forgotten you and he hasn't heard your prayers. Maybe you thought he's forgotten your children and he hasn't heard what they're going through. Mm-hmm. When you look up that word remember, when you hear, oh, he remembered their sins no more. It's not that they didn't sin. It's not that he forgets it like he didn't know what happened. What happens is it's not being brought to the forefront anymore.
Right.
And it's not going to be part of their purpose anymore.
Yeah.
He takes that sin and it's not like, oh, it's gone forever. He takes the sin and now if you apply that word zakar, and as Brenda was teaching what that word means, if you're applying the meaning of that, you'll get that, like, oh, you get to do that for people too. It doesn't mean you forget that they did horrible things to you.
Right.
It does mean is those things don't come to the forefront anymore, and that you don't hold them accountable. You don't hold them hostage to those things anymore.
Right.
Instead, that's not part of their purpose anymore. Doesn't mean you have to be besties with them. They don't have to be in your life. Scroll through. I did like a little talk on this earlier, but doing the search on that word zakar, the word remember, and just knowing what a beautiful concept and a beautiful picture.
So lovely. It's so who he is.
It is so who he is. Yeah. Oh, you guys be blessed. Yeah. Be blessed. I just want to share this weekend. It's a really fun weekend. HBO has their free weekends. We have a free weekend going on right now.
I was trying to go, what do you mean HBO? HBO?
What? We have a free weekend happening over at the Rooted Cafe. So if you are not a cafe member and you want to go check it out and be like, I don't even know what you're talking about, who even cares? Go in and there's a post. I'll put the link also down in here for you to go check it out. But go in. You have all weekend, all through Monday night. It's our Cyber Monday, Black Friday sale. You get free for the whole weekend. Go in there. Please send it to your friends. Let them know, just so they can go in and check it out. Like there's not a lot of things that are like this out there. So you could Google all these things. We don't think we have all these amazing things you've never heard of before. But what we do is save you time of Google searching all the things and put it in one place. And also you have community. You have community. So now you get to come in. What you don't get over the weekend is you don't get the private Facebook group, and you won't get access to the community pages but if you stay with us, then we open all that up to you as well. But you do get all the courses, you get the videos, so you could just like stay up all night, every night and
jam.
Get it all in if you wanted to. But I just hope you be blessed by that. If you are a cafe member, remember to go in and get your affiliate stuff, because if you give someone that link to try it, or if they go in to try it for the free for the weekend and they transition over to paid, you actually get paid for that. You get paid every month that they're a member. So don't miss out on that. It's all good.
That would be
Thank
fantastic.
you guys. Be blessed. Know who you are. Know whose you are.
Yeah. And anticipate the miracles. They're coming.
Yes,
they're coming. They're coming. They're coming.
Start thanking him for them. They're coming. They're coming. The healing in your families. It's coming.
Yes.
I mean, Esau is around the corner. In the next thing, Esau is around the corner, and there's healing in that, right?
Yes,
there's healing. There's healing. It's just around the corner, you guys. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may feel like you've been working like a dog for 14 years for your answer.
Yeah, it's hard work. It is.
It's hard work.
And I'm sure you're tired. Yeah.
We know it. We're here. We'll help hold your arms up, but we will tell you it's coming. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up. It's coming. So we love you all.
Love you. Be blessed. Shabbat shalom. Have a good rest. We'll see you next week. We'll see you this weekend. We'll see you on Sunday in the cafe
or whatever.
or whatever. Love you guys.